Chris, is Mike gonna make it today?
Yes, sir, he'll be here.
Okay, good.
He might be sliding in a couple minutes. Well, that's it. Yes, sir.
Is Acton having a big week at school? I bet the IU campus is rocking this
I would
week.
say it's probably pretty busy.
What a game that was.
Yeah. It was interesting.
I haven't talked to
I don't
Scott.
think anybody ever would have thought the school would have been that.
No,
Yeah, Scott was there,
he and Jake,
you know.
I haven't talked to him, but I bet they had a good
Yeah,
time.
they did. At Easter, he was there. I haven't talked to him either. I'll probably see him Thursday, I'd say. They've been season ticket holders since 1979.
Is that right?
Gene,
Yeah.
Had his sister.
I miss Gene. What a character he was. There's several pages on
Yeah,
that too.
there's not a chance with the Colts, but that kind of washed up quick.
Yeah.
Anything we can help you with, Mitzi? To explain or?
I might play that for this meeting, I don't know.
We understand.
I'll give it to you, John.
Like, you know everybody here?
Lynn Hamilton, Damon, you know Damon Dawes, superintendent, Lana Alexander, Jamie,
Around Jamie.
and Katie Harrison, and
Yeah.
those,
And me.
Would it help you to look back at like some of our old minutes, or, I mean, I don't think it matters, I think we do it how it works for you. I did the last one, so don't judge off those, because I do not typically take them.
I bet you did a good job though on it.
I just said how my brain works, like instead of like, I don't know, which that's a scary thought, so. No, there you go, get your sweats on.
All right. It's 8:30, is it?
Yeah, that's what that one says.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, everybody will move here. There was a change time claim, but everything.
We're working on it still.
Okay. You may wait a few minutes, we'll
No, go right ahead, I can listen.
Okay. Notice to previous meeting, anybody, anything to add or take away or whatever? Approve it as is?
Looks good to me. Make a motion.
Second. You second, Kate, or you did, okay? Everybody in favor? All right. Communications to the board. Chris, you guys want to go ahead and do yours first, because I know you gotta get out early.
Yeah, we can. So, really, we're just here to do an update on the project and then, ask what the board wants to do as far as next steps go. So Mike's here to answer any specific technical questions, regarding the dredging itself. So basically, the whole marina code was done with the exception of directly underneath the boat docks. And that had to do with time and, a couple mechanical breakdowns on pumps, and then really the time exhausted the time and material funding that we had, a lot of it for it. So we want to get back in there in the spring. And I sent that email with the financial breakdown that showed that we can mobilize and get back there in the spring before the boats come back out and clutter up the marina docks. Because we want to get in there and get under those before all the boats come back out. Because that was kind of a challenge too. Like Mike started back in there, and like some of the boats were still here, and so we're kind of working around with the hose and stuff. So it's kind of a learn as we go, and we're fine tuning and getting better, the more we do it. So does anybody have any questions specifically on that? When we talk about maybe getting in there in the spring before I jump into the report?
I don't see, why not? When are the boats gonna start coming in?
Some will
Just
come in
varies on
March.
weather.
Yeah, but the water's still frozen and stuff.
Alright,
And how much of the difference is it gonna make if we actually do under the docks?
Well, some of
And
that,
how effective will you be getting to the material that are trapped around the docks?
We should be able to bring right along the edge of the docks, right on the backside of the docks, and then maybe I'll pull up inside of them, somewhat.
Then we can tell you, like, the first several spaces near the shore are super hard to get in and out of.
That one dock where it broke loose, from that windstorm a couple of years ago, we was actually able to walk it all the way back out where it needed to be. There's that much fill up right in there.
And towards the end, where Mike ended up finishing that, I mean, they got into like 4 foot thick silt. I mean, literally set it down to eat, and then pick it back up and move up a foot to eat.
I remember they did the survey and they averaged a foot, but some places there was none, some places there was 6 inches, and some places there was 4 foot. And I know it's a learning curve for us, but I think my guys did a great job. I don't know what we could have done different to make it go any faster or anything like that. I'm very happy how, there was a tremendous amount of material out that we got out. And from what I can see on the scans back behind what we did, I'm very happy with all that also. I'm hoping to go in and if it freezes up a little bit, if I have a chance to run a bulldozer back there and push up the material, to get it all cleaned up and push it up in a pile, and then you can figure out at that point, I don't know what plans you have for the material that was dredged out, or if you have it planned yet.
So he knows what his subgrade was when we started with the basins, and so then we'll actually be able to report like how much we got up, because we don't know until we push it up. So that'll be kind of neat to know too.
I mean, how much material do you think's in there? Because I myself, I figured the pond would be half full of sludge, and looks
Well,
like there's just barely some on the bottom to me, I don't know.
I'm saying that a third of that basin has over 2 foot in it. And I'm saying, I think about half of that basin has a foot. That's kind of, just kind of looking at. But you also remember, it seems like there would be so much more material there. But whenever the material is in that pond, it's 10% water. When it's in the lake, it's 99% water.
Right.
So you get that water out of there and you're pumping a tremendous amount of material, but that's so wet. And once that dewaters out, all you have is just that material. So that's what.
So how efficient do you feel, I know you mentioned in places you had 3 feet of sludge, how efficient do you feel like, as far as, I mean, like a snowplow, you drag a snowplow through there and it goes over the top of it if it's deeper than what you're plowing with, unless you got it curved and turned.
So we're not,
How does that,
we're not actually going in the bottom of it
okay,
where the head is set up on a winch. So we raise the head all the way up and we set the head down on the material and it eats through it, and then we drop it down again, drop it down again. So we're not actually going underneath and letting it all fall in. We're starting at the top and working our way down. We raise it up and we're eating out of that material like that. And you can tell whenever it sits on the top, whenever you raise up on the head of it, the front of the boat will go down from the weight picking up on it. So as soon as you set that on material, the front of the boat comes up.
Right.
And then as it eats down, the front of the boat comes up.
you know, drop,
And you go drop it and it comes back up.
right?
And that's how you can tell, because and it varies from this end of the table to that end of the table. So as you go along, and then the head is 8 foot wide, and we're only taking 6 foot wide passes. So is it efficient that way? Should we make 8 foot? I don't know, but I'd much rather overlap just a little bit because the wind and the boats, they're not that, we're just running off a street or road.
Right.
And that's why we're taking 6 foot passes to make sure we get on that edge.
So I'm assuming this is, from looking at the map, I think this is the code you were in, right?
Yes.
Did you guys get to
No.
here?
We are to here. There's a water line running about the water line.
They're at the fishing cabins.
And we probably only got about half of that code.
I don't think there's much material from there out.
You don't think these have much?
Well, I think those do there, those might there, but I don't think that you're talking feet of material up through here.
Right.
Most of this all drops out right up through here.
Yeah.
I mean, is there some there? Yes. Do you still have 10 foot of water? Where do you, and that's something I asked the board, where do you start, where do you stop?
Right.
I mean, is it worth spending the money to back out 6 inches of material right here when you already have 10 foot of water or 8 foot of water? Or is it better off taking the time that you use right here and you can almost do this whole code right here for that amount of time where you know that there's only 2 foot of water there?
Right. No, I totally agree with what you're saying there. I guess that's kind of what I was leading up to because, I mean, we not only spent 1 year's budget, we spent 2 years' budget in that particular area.
Not
Plus
necessarily.
we did we did the sediment ponds. And it looks like, so I see all the sediments in one pond, have we? Does it blow over does it fill over into the other one and then fill the back of the lake? It's just filtered out.
It just goes out after that one pond. We did not have to go into the second pond. I wasn't sure when we built these, how long it would take to settle out.
Right.
It's settling out over a weekend.
Yeah, right.
And it all depends on the material, but we have all this area. So let's say you were to get a $500,000 grant and we can run for 6 months straight. So that's when the second pond would come in, because then you can fill up that pond all you wanted.
Right.
And then you go summertime, you drop all that water out, then you let that pond set for a week, and then you're pumping into that second pond. And, okay, let's move all that material out, so this first pond dries out.
So do you have to, move your hoses to the other pond?
No,
Or
I
do
have-
you already
I have
it to where you can switch
I have
off and on?
valves and everything up there. The pipe is actually up on the ponds that I built. The pipe is buried in the ground. So all that can be maintained. And I have a valve set up that I can go into the first pond, the second pond, or if we need to, sometime go into that third area. Now it is just a set of valves right there.
Right.
But it's kind of surprised me. Yes, there's a lot of material out. I figured there would be more, but if you take that water, excess moisture out of that material, that it's settled out so fast that I'm surprised. Because we're not using any chemical, we're not using anything in it to help it drop out. I have some that I purchased, but if I don't have to use it, I don't want to
Right.
inject it in there because I don't think it would make a difference. Majority of the material is coming out within the first, I believe, 100 feet of the sediment pond as soon as it drops in.
Right.
But like your point, you say we use 2 years worth of money on that. We've also purchased, we have an extra 5,000 feet of pipe now
Yeah, I
that's
saw
sitting back there. So we should have enough pipe, that you should have to buy pipe for a few years now. Because we have enough pipe to do this cove, and depending on where you go after this, probably up all the way up into here. If we go here, or if we come back up into here, we have enough pipe to go up into these areas here down.
But we don't have enough to go all the way north yet.
We need another 5,000, to go all the way up into here, this is, you need another 5,000 feet to go all the way up into here.
And you bought 5,000 feet so far.
I bought 8,000 feet so far. I have 5,000 feet sitting on the ground that's not put together. But I think we have about 3,000 foot to get out to this go here, so we have another 5,000 that we bought with 2025 money.
So, I mean, for simple math, the 2024 DNR grant award plus the board's match was invested on the construction of the sediment ponds and the pipe purchase.
The original pipe purchase, 3,000 feet. pipe purchase.
Yeah, and then the 2025 grant award in match was spent on time and labor dredging, on the dredging operations, and then the additional 5,000 feet of pipe for the next year. So that's where the dollars went.
I don't know, I guess I can only speak for what I knew and what we've discussed in here. I don't think we were aware that you guys had hit the 2025 money until just recently, when you sent that out, that email. So I guess that kind of came as a surprise. I mean, I get, the money amount, you spend over $100,000, it looks like, on pipe alone, plus fittings. I mean, I get that it wraps up quick, so I guess it would be 80,
It shouldn't be quite that.
85, 90, about $95,000 on pipe, it looks like.
And that is your pipe.
Yeah.
That's not my pipe. That is,
Right.
you purchased that pipe.
So, I know, so I guess here's one of my concerns. Originally, we had these target areas that we did the study with, and was that a target area?
Yes.
Okay. So we knocked out one target area.
Okay, so the target area was from here back,
Correct, which is what you.
which was basically what we did. So if we want to do around the boat docks, that wasn't necessarily a target area. But while you're there, you go ahead and spend a week or whatever there. And that way, everything from here back is done.
Right. I guess my concern is, so the DNR, we did these studies, as to where we were gonna target. And then you submitted a bill as to what you thought it would cost to do that area. My only concern and thought process is, I'm worried that, so basically that was 4 grants, maybe 5. We've already burned up 2, and we've only done 1 area. So my concern is, once we hit the 5 grant mark, are they gonna shut us off and say, well, you said it was only gonna cost this much to do those target areas? What's your thoughts on that?
So where's the 4 or 5 grant number coming from? I'm confused.
Well, your original estimate was 400 and something,
Mhm.
and we're at a quarter already, a $250,000.
It was like-
So, that's basically a 5 grant cycle, that's where I came up with that. So I'm worried that Doug or whoever's in charge of the money will say, okay, well, I thought we were gonna do this amount of money and shut us off at that point.
No, and I can speak, and I can ask, Bruce and Dan to corroborate this. We've spent a lot of time with Doug on this project, a couple different visits on site, riding around the location with them.
Good.
And Doug has made it very clear, and I think he's expressed the same thing to Dewey, that this is an important project for DNR. Now, he's told us what their annual budgets are, across the entire state for dredging. And it's not very conducive to our long-term massive project, right?
Right.
But I feel like, and he can't give this to us in writing, obviously, because he's not the only decision maker. But I feel like we have a long-term commitment from them to fund something every year. Twice now, we've requested over 300,000 for these different sites, and we've only gotten 100,000 people.
Right.
But there's a lot of locations that have gotten zero. So I feel like, I'm pretty confident with our relationship that we've established with Doug, that we're gonna get 100,000 every year until we finish this. Now, we need more, so we can do bigger chunks, because it's not efficient to go in there and do little
We gotta
phases.
figure that out.
But with the initial investment of the sediment basins already constructed, and then us owning the pipe already, that drastically reduces the cost of us getting out there and chipping away at this long term.
Right.
And then that was the concept of this. Like, I know we all want to get this done, but it didn't get this bad in a year either, right? And that's another reason why it's taken so long. To bring up the point about just running along the bottom of the lake, we could if we were doing it on time, but we're doing it 60 years later. So we're having to eat through it, and it's taking longer. So naturally, the project's going to cost more and take longer, just because it's neglected and wasn't maintained. So how bad that looked like or how long it's going to take, we don't know. We're figuring it out as we go. When we had the survey done, we took lake scans and we took probes, right? And we spent that almost $8,000 but that's spot checking, right? And like Mike said, you got into some spots that were 6 inches, and then we found ourselves in a long stretch that was 4 feet thick, and that just ate up a ton of time. So we're going to experience that across the entire lake. We just kind of we're going to have to be understanding the flexibility of the unknowns as we get into these different areas, because we don't have X-ray vision through a murky lake.
And on one thing I have built out on my dredging, I'm building out hours on the machine. So I'm not billing my time for the guys getting there like that. This is time that the machine's running. And when the machine's running, it's, other than fueling up in the morning, warming up, it's running all the time. It's pumping. And so I'm not charging 8 hours and only running 6 hours. Whatever that machine hour meter says, it's been Brady hour meter in the job right before this. So whatever that hour meter is, that's what that is.
And I don't want you guys to feel like I'm picking.
No, that's why I'm here.
I mean, if it wasn't for you guys right now, we wouldn't be started, we wouldn't be anywhere, because you know what we were faced with, and you guys, you come in and you helped us out tremendously, so don't think that I'm just, trying to gather the answers and understanding, I guess.
I'm not saying the first year was a learning curve, but it was. I guess the question I have, okay, so let's say from here, Damon, is 200 feet. This is the cove, and right in the center is the main part. We did the cove. We did everything we could get to from here to Damon. Is that something that do we need to do the edges, or do we run up the middle where the material's at?
Right.
I mean, there's so many questions. So we did everything we could. I mean, they ran up along the edges and they got up into the sticks and the brush and everything like that. But yeah, we could have saved 3 or 4 weeks if we would have just came in another 20 foot or 30 foot.
Right.
Is that I don't know, where do you stop, where do you
So
start?
I totally get what you're
No, and that's a
saying.
good question, so all that's gonna eventually go to the middle.
So it's the middle, so
If you don't get it, it'll break every time.
What's your thoughts on some of that?
Back there where they were doing it at, we actually ran out of spots for people to park their boats along that
So
area.
that needs to be
So it
done.
needed to be done from bank to bank.
And you're saying like the boat docks in your opinion, just based on our customers,
I think
that
we need
would,
it.
that need it, okay.
Like I said, my concern is the money getting cut off because, unless I don't mean to play politics or anything, but our governor
Yeah.
is not going to be free with money, I can promise you. He is going to be, it's not going to be pretty. The counties, the cities, everybody's going to struggle really bad with this administration. The last administration was way more open and, you know, gave money where it needed to what power he could, I guess.
Well, I will say though, they are very invested in this region recreationally. So it's not necessarily like how free they are with money, it's where they want to allocate and focus.
And
So,
Alan Morrison, I guess he's still the head of it.
mhm.
Right.
I would,
So as long as you, I mean, as long as you guys have felt dug out and you feel like, cause I mean, you said it might take us 20 years to do this project.
at this pace,
I mean, at $100,000 a shop, it's gonna take us forever. So,
I might not be around to see the end of it.
I may not be either.
so
That's a
I know you
concern
mentioned,
also.
I know you mentioned the TIF money.
yeah,
There is a bunch of money in the TIF out here in this particular area.
correct.
But getting it is probably gonna be like pulling teeth.
It is, so the conversations I've started with redevelopment, and nothing's official, so I don't want to say a whole lot, on the list.
You don't know.
But, I'm looking at trying to put a residential TIF district around the lake. So as things develop around the lake, then the lake is benefiting from that. Because currently it's not, and people are like, oh, they don't build anything around the lake. Really? Like, I mean, in the last 5 years, there's probably 10 houses that were built just around the lake.
Right.
So that should have already been established a long time ago, really. I mean, as one of your biggest county assets, there should have been, a TIF district around your lake to generate revenue for maintenance of it. So we're working through those conversations. We're also working through conversations of having a structured economic development contribution to this effort, especially through these, economic development payments in lieu of tax abatements that are happening from these different projects in the county. So those conversations, these take a while, right? Because they're relationship based and you have to time it right and have all your ducks in a row. So, back to the funding, Buzzy. I've heard this from a couple of other people on the board. So first off, I think I owe the board an apology because I thought I was clear, I thought it was a good understanding of where we were and what monies we were using and all that, but apparently it's confusing. So I apologize for that.
Okay, Mark, we got your conference team now. Can you hear okay?
Yes, I am so sorry. We got Tyrone acting up on Carl Pinsel is going to look at it tomorrow. I am so sorry that we didn't get him there.
That's okay, we're gonna move on.
Sorry, Chris.
So the main concern with funding is, I feel like we're gonna fly under the radar as far as the politics go with $100,000 a year. I don't think that's gonna raise a big alarm to the state and risk us getting cut off. If we were constantly going and asking for $500,000 or something like that, that's different. But I think the 100,000, I feel confident, there's no way to confirm that for sure. I feel like we'll have that coming every year as long as we do our due diligence with our application timeline and turn everything in and do our correct reporting and all that.
And you're doing the application process, correct?
I am now, I'm gonna be working with Dewey now and helping make sure all that gets done. So our main concern with funding is to make sure that we're generating the match so that we can sustain this, right? So, she just happened to be here today, but the Wabash Valley Community Foundation. And then the 2% surcharge, which last time we looked was like really 6,000. So, and that wasn't even implemented until the first full month was May, which I didn't notice that a lot of that, there's a lot of revenue generated in the beginning of the year, every coming to buy their house and all that stuff. So now that it's implemented, that sustainable generation is going to continue to fund the match fund. And so that's been, because we want to keep that flush as much as we can, so that if there is a big opportunity, we have the match dollars for it. So,
Did you see the news last night where Vigo County got $1 million for community crossing grants?
Yeah.
I think we're getting it too.
yeah, that's been pretty,
Pretty much every county is what I understand.
So what is our county going to do with theirs?
those have to be spent on roads. You can't use it for anything
Well,
else.
we have roads.
Yeah. But there's a match requirement for it too. So, the county has to put I think it's a 1-for-1, I think. So if they budgeted $1 million for road work, they can double it. And that's paid out of the gas tax. So when that was implemented, 7 or 8 years ago. But that's what the community crossing always goes. Yes.
I've talked to Doug a couple of times, and he pretty much told me the same thing, because I asked him how much can we guaranteed yet, we're not guaranteed anything.
Correct.
He did say 100,000 would be a good number to work with.
Right. That's
So
what
we're
it's
there now,
telling me too.
and $100,000 a year,
Sorry. No, I mean,
We're trying.
No, I'm not, I mean, I'm thinking death. I mean,
but that turns into 120, 125 every year, actual dredge time. Because the basins.
Well, that's what I was gonna say,
Pipes
you're
here.
not gonna have to do the pipes,
right,
right?
we're
If we
doing
get the
pipes,
money,
all we're
we can
doing
set
is just, from here on out, for the next probably, if we get $100,000 a year, I'd take away for the next 3 years. That is just going right to dredging, right to
Yeah.
sucking mud. Other than maybe cleaning ponds, but I don't think that would have to be done.
Yeah.
I just really like to say, okay, this is what we did, and for, I don't know, $800,000, this is the amount of money we got. Does it look like a lot? No, but multiply that by 100, because that's probably what it is, because it's 99% water that's in the lake. That's actually how much slop was taken out.
We were, I guess, you asked what our plan was for the settlement, right, or what we were
Yes.
doing once it settled out. And we kind of thought we had a lot more time, because like we discussed, we thought it would take forever to be watered.
But there's not a lot, so you still have time.
We still have,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Because we were talking, when we made the point on like our roads not being able to sustain trucks going. So we're still working on that road, okay.
how many acres have we done this year?
It's probably
7 acres?
6 or 7 acres probably.
And is that gonna be the yearly average, 6 or 7 acres?
It may be a little more than that, being that we have this $120,000 just to dredge.
Yeah, we don't have any other
Let's
investments.
say we get 10 acres, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
but we got 461 acres of water. We're gonna do
Well,
everything.
but of that 461 acres, how much is in the middle? I mean, once you get up halfway or 3/4 of the way up, yes, the whole thing needs dredged. But from middle way down, does the center even need dredged? Is that something that you're even gonna to attempt other than the codes? Because I don't think it's just something I haven't looked at, but I don't know what the water depth is right here. Is there sediment all the way in through this right here? You got 250 acres right here.
Right.
I don't personally see me going and dredging this right here. Maybe one day we will. But I think from right here up, yes, this whole thing almost needs to be done.
Mhm.
And then this will be, okay, do you run all the way from the shore, or do you just get this middle 5 foot out? And that's probably what this is up here. And I mean, I know from here up, yeah, it's shallow, there's 4 or 5 foot sediment
That's
probably
not
right there.
very deep. That's not very deep. There's another spot.
But from right here down, is there,
Yeah, right down
There's a
there.
spot right in
where
here
that
that's only
settles.
about 2 to 3 feet deep.
yeah, that's,
So I don't know.
is that sediment, or is that clay, or is that what?
No idea.
I think it's sediment because it didn't used to be that way.
And why it's right there where it's at, I have no idea.
I mean, I know there's some over in here too, like I said, over in
Mhm.
down here. It's just where do we start? Where do we stop? I would like to go up while we're set up. We can run up and down in between all these boat ramps and get this all the way in here. But then, is this cove here a priority? is this culvert priority, or do we just make a couple passes, 3 or 4 passes up the middle of this? We say, okay, hey, there's only 6 inches of material, it's really not, it's not worth sucking up 6 inches of material here.
Right.
When you can come down here and you know there's feet of material down in here.
That's bad right there.
And then, but I'd really like to come out here next and then hit from about the beach this way, and then we'll turn and run. I'd like to turn and run with the beach and run almost all the way to the beach to get all that you would get. It would set up above the sand and everything like that.
On that application, you said you were gonna do it.
I need to work with you on it because I haven't done one yet, but I can do it and manage it. for
The
you.
only thing you have to do, this is a continuation project we've already started.
Correct.
Take one from last year and just add on to a continuation.
Okay.
That's what Doug told me I could do. And I was planning on doing that, but if you're gonna do it,
Well, if you don't mind, we can do it together because I haven't done this one yet, this specific grant. And then, we just need to do it early January, like the first week of January.
yeah, well, I'd say I was gonna go ahead and do it, and I decided I was gonna wait to talk to the board first. Apply for $100,000 grant, and the board wants to do 200,000.
Well, we can always apply for 200.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the grant down altogether, probably.
Well, it's a roll of the dice because they may have a down year of applicants. They may have no other lower number of applicants across the state, and then have a little extra funding to throw away.
You think that's feasible?
We haven't experienced that yet, but
Yeah.
that's
my point.
it's a roll
You
of
never
the
know.
dice.
But the thing is, it also takes, if the application's not filled out correctly,
Yeah,
so someone could have got money last year, and they got $500,000 last year. They didn't fill out something correctly, well, we're gonna give you $100,000 this year, because it wasn't.
or they missed a deadline or something like that.
That's the other thing Doug said, he said if I get the application over to him, he would review it before he sent it on.
Oh, perfect.
So, but I know last year, they didn't review it or anything. So I don't predict any problems with it, really.
Right. I think he's just wanting to help as much as he can to make it as competitive as possible for a larger reward.
I
I
agree.
don't think there's any risk if the board wants to apply for 200, because if you ask for 100, you're not gonna get 200.
Right.
So if you ask for 200, you might get 200 or at least get.
Let's go big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we've never asked for less than 3. It's always been over 300,000 every single request we've done. And we're only on 100, so. I don't think they're gonna be offended by it. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that. Right. Yeah.
Or if you redo the grant, we asked for 3 last year, you just asked for the same amount. If
Yeah.
you redo the same, we have to apply.
Have you applied for other grants through the fall?
We did the community foundation grant.
Well, Katie did that.
Well, yeah, it's
Not
not
hard.
paying in the new grants.
Well, I thought we were. I thought that was
Yeah.
part of his,
Well,
that's what you said.
but hang on, I'm supporting her. I gathered all the letters of
You did get it.
support. I put together an operational budget for the grant and then.
She failed to mention that to us.
No, I said Chris had helped with all that when we were questioning what he was doing last meeting. I said he's doing a ton on the back end and all this redevelopment stuff and really helping on ways that it's not necessarily, like, not tangible, it's not the right word, but visual, I guess. It's not, he's doing tons of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to grants than just writing the grant. I mean, a lot of your grants, getting across the finish line, are relationship based, especially the local ones. And so you have to put all of that, it's hard to put a number to what that is, but especially the time involved with that. But, and then putting, asking for all these letters of support, generating it, and doing the operational budget.
And
Well, that
later,
takes
the
time.
information I needed to, so then it's a huge help on that.
So if you like, I've been on the list real quick of some accomplishments that we did this year. So, I mean, we got with the help of the marketing contractor, the donate feature was established, it's on the website. I don't really know if it's generating. But the feature's available to advertise with. The 2% surcharge is implemented, that's been a huge success, I believe. We did the letters of support, Jamie's been great, and anytime we have a double check an invoice or track accounting with, DNR, the way DNR awards and grants isn't a typical grant award process. So it gets a little confusing as Dewey goes. So usually you apply for a grant, and then you have an award date, and they send you a check. You might have an event, like you guys had recently with the Community Foundation. With DNR, they send you an award notice, and so you have this money to spend, but you don't get a check. You have to get the invoice to send to them, and then they cut the check minus the match and send it to you that way. So there's a, to the county, right, it doesn't even come straight to here. And then it has to get appropriated back into the right line item, so then the Park and Lake Board can cut the check to the contractors. It gets a little mucky to track like what's left over. So like recently we invoiced part, the leftover amount on the 24 plus the 25. So James been fantastic to work with to help keep all that straight too. We just talked about the Community Foundation grant. We talked about the TIF stuff. I've been keeping most of the county leadership up to date. Yeah, you know how some of that can be.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So that's where we've been. I feel like, there was some learning curve in phase one, what I might call phase one this year. But I feel like, with the construction of the sediment ponds and the investment into the pipe and what we were able to get done so far, I don't think we could have started any better, especially with what we had. I mean, we didn't tackle a 60-year-old project with $1 million, right? We jumped in with it with what we had. And I think that's just going to be the concept as we continue to go forward. Do what we can with what we got, but we got to keep going. Even if this does, unfortunately, take longer than we want it to take.
So moving forward here with your applications due in January, your award's not till June.
Correct.
So I'll back up to Dr. Black's project.
Yeah.
That was done evidently in March of 25.
Correct.
We didn't get any shoreline award this year.
In 25, correct. We got 24 shoreline money. And I don't know, was there any left over in 24?
We didn't get all, I don't remember the number that you told me was supposed to come in for that, but I know that we got 48,400. So, and I know that was less than what we were supposed to get, so there has to be money left over. But we did pay for that $11,000 of that, we paid for that, so somehow we need to get reimbursed for that from our grant money.
Did you get an email from Doug Newsbaum on how much we spent?
We got $48,400, but there was a larger number that you said we were supposed to get, but that's not what the courthouse got for us. And it was last year, not slept since then.
And I'm not involved in the shoreline stuff, so I don't know what the number is, but I've sent Doug Newsbaum an email asking him if there was 24 money left over, because I feel like that 11 goes there and it just goes a step missed. So I don't think there's anything to be alarmed about, but that 11 was spent out of the dredging fund and should have been spent with the DNR grant match from the 24 award, not 25.
So that bill's been paid,
Correct.
but it came out of the wrong fund.
Well, I'm putting all the money in the fund, there just wasn't a grant put into that fund to cover it, that's what
Okay,
happened.
so I guess that's where I'm headed with my next deal. So if you're not gonna be awarded till June, and if you go in there in March or April to do it around the boat docks, what are we gonna do if we get a big fat goose egg?
Oh, like not getting any money. So I think
We have some money left. right?
yeah, that's the money, I think, if the board wants to approve it, we go in the marina we don't use all the full match amount, we use the leftover from 25, and we use,
Which is a little over 7,000, I think, right?
Mhm.
But if we burn that money up, what do we use for matching money?
And then
no, I don't want to, I'm not saying we burn up the match amount.
I think
That's
that's
not
not
matching money.
We got the almost 7,600 from DR left, but then we would still have 88 towards matching, correct? Those are separate. Am I reading that right?
Yes.
Yes. So we have what's left of the 2025 grant, which is a little over 7,000. We also have a little over 6,000 in lake maintenance fees that we've collected. We have $34,000 that David got us from Wabash Valley Community. So we do have money. And it was my understanding that, I know it seems like we spent a lot of money, but it was my understanding that the biggest part of the money, it was gonna look like we were spending a lot of money at first because of the building and the supplies that we had to buy. And that the actual dredging wasn't, because I know you're like, we're halfway through what you said our bill was, but we're also doing more than what you guys actually originally. And I mean, I remember Mike saying, you're gonna look like you're spending a lot of money at first because we're gonna be building these ponds and buying this pipe and.
And we got the invoices for them, like we've seen
Right.
all of that.
And so we had, and so that's what the biggest part of that, because there was even pipe on the second bill that you guys are signing off on today. So there was pipe on that as well. But I think that, you know, some of this extra money we have is gonna get us through some of the dredging that we start off with, right? I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I'm looking at it on a money perspective.
Speaking of money too, and Tommy, Bruce, you may be able to type in, but at the beginning of the year, we set up the account with the Wabash Valley Community Foundation. And I don't know who is monitoring that or who has access to that, or like, we know nothing about it after that was proposed to us. Which Melissa, I think, helped set all of that up, and remember we sent the initial stuff in. Have you seen like a balance for that? We need to figure
I
that out.
know, I mean, I remember it being set up, but I knew absolutely zero
Because-
about it.
You had a donation that went to that account, remember we had talked about that a few months ago? So, and I thought there's probably a lot in that, but we have money sitting there that's accumulating interest, I understand.
I guess my.
So we need to figure that out too.
I don't want us to eat through our match money because something else pops up and then we don't have match money and we miss out.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Do you wanna approve a set number to get under those dots? That we, a not to exceed number?
I don't know.
What's the deadline on cashing in on these past grants?
What do you-
Like the 2005 grant, if we haven't spent it all, what's the deadline, we have to spend that?
When we get a next bill, we'll spend it, right?
You mean the 2025 grant, the leftover?
Yeah,
You have 3 years to use it. So, we don't have to use it, we don't have to exhaust
but
it.
we don't use it, we gotta send it back.
Yeah, but yeah,
We got 3 years.
We're not holding anything.
Yeah, we don't
We don't
have.
get any money from them until we turn in the invoice.
You have 3 years to turn in the invoice.
Right.
So I guess another question is, I know I came in and talked to Jamie the other day. She mentioned that we didn't get a full $100,000. Can you
That-
elaborate on that a little bit, why that is?
Because they only send what we invoice for minus the match. So when we send in an invoice for 120, the minus the match amount, it was 96. So that's why you'll see in the email, like there's an extra 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I know, and that's what I'm saying, like the accounting part of it is a little more challenging.
But we didn't lose that money, it's still there, we can use it within the next 3 years.
We used the 4,000 extra from the 96
We used it this year.
on the
From
second
last
invoice. Yeah, and that's why there's some left over on the second invoice,
I got you.
or the second invoice, sorry.
So if I'm looking and understanding all of this, it's not a concern to me to start in the spring, because we're not gonna lose our match money. We have enough for you to get in there, get under the docks and all of that.
Mike, what do you think it would cost to do under the docks? I think that's, I imagine that,
The only thing, where we did isn't a highly traveled area.
right.
And we found water leashes, we found a drone, we found we found a bullet, not a full shell casing bullet, just the end,
Oh, wow.
just the shot part. I
Yeah.
don't know what you call it, just the bullet part. We found that in our dredge, where it had been shot and landed in the water. I know I'm gonna find things up there.
Yeah,
Is
especially
that-
on the docks.
what's that? How many anchors are there? How many coolers are there? How many
Sunglasses.
sunglasses?
Both dock keys.
Yeah, we'll chew a lot of that stuff right up, but what is going to, I'm saying we stop for, in that, however many hours, we stop for 2 hours probably total, getting, fishing line, lures, and, anchor rope out of the dredge, out of the head of the dredge. Got to stop, cut everything down, shut all the water down, shut the pumps down, go in there and cut everything out and pry stuff out, and then we go right back at it. We full trash bag full of stuff. that we-
Remember Doug Mullins and all these nice suits are in there?
Yeah, well, we haven't had his leisure suits yet.
Suits.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting to do that. I mean,
So I don't put you on the spot, Mike, but I feel like when I'm reading the board is, that's their concern is, you know, how much is it gonna cost to get into the docks?
No, I think we have enough
I-
personally, that looks like.
I mean, I think when there's, I'll say 25,000.
That's-
Kind of.
I mean, everything's right there close, everything's already set up, all we have to do is just,
And we have, it, you know what I mean, we have that.
And that's not the matching.
That's not the
We have
matching
it, that's, yeah,
We have that.
I mean,
but, I mean, it comes down to if we'll know more when the grants released. When were
We apply in January and then they get awarded.
if I get in there close and on it, let's say we get in a little bit more, it's it be 35,000, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop and say, you're out of money right now. We're gonna continue to do that while we're sitting there. We'll worry about the rest of it later. I'm not worried about that. I like getting there before boats get in. And I guess the next question would be is when would make a difference on fish? Are you allowed to go in for fish or?
I think habitat or the spawning season.
Is
I feel
that,
like in that particular area, I wouldn't even have an issue.
Okay.
and that's necessary, is there an issue when, I know there's a lot of fish that hang out under the docks in the summer, but is that necessarily spawning season? Spawning area?
It wouldn't be very smart on the fish's part if it was.
I mean, but I think what spawning is in April probably.
Yeah, I feel like it's mid-April, isn't it?
April, May.
I mean, I would personally like to get in if weather permits into February, beginning of March, to go in and knock it out.
That's probably a good idea.
That would be smart.
my environmental husband, this
Is
is
there-
smart studies in April.
Is there an acre there, you think? How much?
Probably.
So how are you gonna deal with cold water?
I'm not worried about 34-degree water. I'm worried about 24-degree water. Or I'm not worried about 24-degree air.
Okay,
I'm not worried about
water temp,
I'm not worried about water temp. Because I'm digging off the bottom's not froze, so that water is warmer down lower. I'm worried about whenever the water comes up and the air hits it.
yeah.
But if we continually run and we drain the pipes, I don't think there's gonna be an issue with that. They're not, because you're taking that warmer, I'm not saying warmer water, but it's not up on the top water.
I don't know, I mean,
And you never know, it could be,
is it, but here's the thing, is it worth the risk of doing it then versus doing it on the back end after the boats are gone?
well, I mean, I personally, I've just seen,
You just get it done.
I just didn't get it done, but that's all what's it gonna be like? We could have 4 foot of ice out there and not be able to get onto it till whenever, you just never know. Or it could be beautiful weather in February and we could be out, I mean, it could turn off nice in January, we could be out in January. If the air temperature, if it's not 2 foot of ice out there, which I don't believe that freezes that much anyway. But if the weather, it's going to be air temperature related.
So let's talk about 2026. So we're talking about possibly getting in there in the spring, early spring, getting into the docks. Keep in mind, we still have revenue generating from the lake maintenance fee while this is going on, while we're waiting on to replenish the matching fund, right? And then we have the grant award in June. So we still be talking about 2026 fall, finishing that, spinning the corner, doing the beach code with 2026 award. And then that's kind of the momentum we should
Yeah.
be talking about maintaining as we go. You know, apply in January, award in June, directing every fall, like, and just keep it going. Because the model that we're building, with the initial investment already being done, we can operate on a $100,000 a year grant award with the other sustainable matching funds coming in. So, if you guys are good with that concept, I mean, I think that's what we should be pursuing is, let's get in there and tackle this little dock area in the spring with maybe a not to exceed number of 25,000 for board peace of mind, you know, if we're gonna get in there and finish it, and we have to go over a little bit, that number is not gonna matter until the fall. And then we'll get back in there in the fall and spin the corner.
So have you arranged how much stuff is in there around the docks?
It varies.
I mean, you have sonar, don't you?
Yeah, well, the best way to find out is you have a plastic pole and you set it in there and you go down, because your sonar, you don't know if you're hitting solid or what it is. So basically, the guy just went home and they take this pole and they just jab it, and that's, so they hit the hard bottom. And that, I mean, it's not real scientific, I don't know how else to do it, because I mean, I'm sure I could get a $10,000 sonar and map it, but it's still,
Still,
you can still go and then you reach up inside. And I would talk about in the fall, I would, for this next area, once we get done at the boat docks, and I assume we are moving to the beach cove next.
I mean, that's probably what the board wants to do.
I think that's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
To go to the beach cove?
I mean, I would like to do that. I'm not, I'd like to do it rather sooner than later, just for the visual aspect, and there'll be more people there. Everybody sees that cove, and they can see us out there and see what we're doing, rather than wait till August, September, where the numbers aren't high here. I'm not saying we don't necessarily have to shut down the beach or anything like that. We could wait to do that beach area, but if we can do that upper end of the cove, while more people are here to see it, say, this is what we're doing, this is the.
that's great publicity. You're gonna-
It is,
yeah.
I mean, not that you need publicity for
That's
this project, but
Well, we do.
We do,
Yeah.
you still need.
We really
need
do.
to
People
yeah.
are interested. We need
Yeah.
and yeah,
visibility.
and you've got more people in here in probably July, August than you do in
Yeah.
October. So if you could have that running, and let's say it takes 3-4 weeks to do that area, I know there's feeding material in that cove.
And I make the motion to go ahead and let Mike finish out the Marina Cove for the boat docks in the spring, weather permitting, January, February, whenever, before the boats get there, and then that way we're just ready to start on the beach cove when we figure out where we stand with grants in 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
But I guess to piggyback that, that's kind of one of the reasons that I mentioned starting later also, then you don't have the boat traffic and all that, so. And also, if we go ahead and you do what you're wanting to do now, and we end up like we did with the shoreline, we get to zero, what we're gonna do then?
We still would have enough money to finish Marina Cove and the boat docks if we're okay there, but then that whole section is already done, and then we'll just start on the beach
Yeah,
area.
but he's talking about starting on the beach.
No. I wouldn't start on the beach until
We figure
until
out.
after June. Until after June, yeah. But possibly coming in, if, let's say, June 15th, and say, yeah, we got this money awarded, we're in there beginning of July, or middle of July, or something like that. No, not necessarily do that, no.
Okay.
Wait on
I
that.
think he's wanting to get the boat dock area done early, and then
And then.
then when we know what we're doing with money, get to the beach.
That way we can start on the beach as soon as we figure
And then
out.
we'll see where we'll know more once you apply, and once you close your time, I'm sure. So whenever I met with Doug, I hear how many people here knew the story, but Doug came out, and this was our first really full day of running here. And he said he was very impressed with the lines, the machine, how we were set up, how we built the ponds, and everything like that. And he's like, well, how long you guys been doing this? And I said, we've been doing this for, I've been about 6 months now. He's like, well, you've been out here for 6 months? I said, no, I'm going to be here for a day. I said, oh, I bought a dredge 6 months ago. But he was he said, we got guys that have been dredging for 20 years that aren't this organized and have this nice equipment and that run like this. And so that made me feel real good that he saw what we were doing, and other than a few hiccups with our booster pump,
That happens.
that's a learning curve, because you're only allowed, I was told different when I bought my booster pump, that you're allowed to, it helps push the water up there. But if you have more pressure going to the pump than what you're pumping out, it blows all the seals out of the pump. So I'm on my third set of seals at $10,000 a set. So, but since then we moved our booster pump up higher, so it's actually sucking more water and it's working great now.
So now you think you got that problem
I got that problem solved now. So that's my cost, but it's my mistake.
So this motion was a not to exceed 25,000, correct?
Yeah, we haven't finished off, but we have all of that ready to go, so.
Hopefully you can do it for about 10,000.
If I can get for 10,000, we'll just keep going around there and do everything. And then, the next, I know it's kind of far away, but our next area will be the beach area. And yes, I'd love to get all the way down from here, all the way down around to the beach also. And actually run perpendicular to the beach and come all the way up where people swim when it's closed or whenever, definitely not when people are there. After that, just as where are we moving down next down here as a thought, or are we heading back up?
I
I,
don't know, I mean, we'll I guess kind of rely on you for a little assistance with that as well. See how the beach cove goes and
yeah,
we'll figure it out from there.
The only thing I'm thinking is something, do I need to know right now? No, but it needs to be thought of, because this may, if you look at this area, I mean, I may be able to do this, I may be able to finish this up in less time than this, because this is all straight, where this took us a little bit longer, because this was curved, we had to set this way and run different angles, well, this is pretty well straight.
Right.
And we may be able to knock this out pretty quick. Hey, let's say we do this, and hey, we got $30,000. Just that, I mean, we're talking August, September, October, I don't know. But it's still something to think about. We need to start thinking about, okay, now we're coming back around here. Or,
Which would be the most cost effective for us?
I was gonna
Stay
say,
right where we're at in the south?
yeah, I mean,
I personally, I mean, I agree with Buzzy on following your expertise on that and cost effectiveness, but also, we're talking about generating interest, getting back into the residential areas, who they really have a lot of personal buy-in to this and are kind of just waiting to see what happens. It might be nice to let them see if we're serious about this, we're getting done. We may have some more public buy-in that way on their residential front, but, I mean, it's just.
I don't know, I have not been down at here's the big boat ramp right here. I don't know what this is right here. I don't know what that's like there.
It's pretty.
It's good there.
So that it's good there, okay. And that's I mean,
It's got some,
you have-
I don't know
basically
if it's
you have two-
good, but
you have
it's not
voters
bad.
and you have landowners, so I mean, while you're right here, do you jump down, do you need to do anything there? And that's something we can see once we get out, or do we go ahead and come back up into here, or this will be the next move everybody's gonna be watching.
Yeah,
I personally, I would do the beach and then I would probably focus on going up in there somewhere. I don't think we have a problem. Is it easier for you to stay on the west side versus the east side?
It would be, yeah, because the piping will run,
Correct.
we'll run all the way down through here if we, our pipe's coming out right here, so yeah, we float the pipe and then bring it all the way along the shore.
I think you should probably do that, easier, instead of moving that pipe.
You know, maybe.
The pipe's not that big a deal to move, I found out that you figure a pipe that weighs probably 20 pounds per foot, you put it in the water and it sinks. It doesn't sink even, when it's running clean water through it, it doesn't sink. As soon as you get down into material, that pipe sinks. I would have thought that, which is, they're good and bad at that. You can tell when you're in, running out of material.
Getting sludge.
When you're getting, if we can tell that from the gauges on the machine, how much sludge we're getting into, just because it pulls a little more pressure up. If you can watch that pipe when you're running, if you raise the head up and you kind of clean it out, once you get all the big material down at the very bottom, you raise it up, it runs a little bit of clean water, so you can watch that pipe come right up top of the ground. As soon as he sets it down in the material, that pipe saves just that much more weight of it. So we will, when we come across here, I will have to bury this pipe to keep this open, which is, we'll figure that out, how we're gonna do that. But it's still, I've known that I haven't done this, I mean, I've been excavating my whole life, but this is still something different. I'm very happy with how it went this year. I really didn't know. I don't know if there was much that I would really change. So,
We appreciate you.
thank you. I don't know what I would, there's not a lot I think I would do different this year. Maybe turn the boat in a different way at certain times, but overall, I'm happy with how everything went. Other than move my booster pumps up, I would definitely change that.
What do you want?
Yeah,
We appreciate it, but it would be nice, I guess, to, at some point, we need to get ahead of the game rather than operating off of what we think's coming. At some point, we have to do that, we can't, because the one year that we get shut down, then the community's going.
So, I was looking at this, can we have like a special meeting just so it doesn't take up regular meeting time to talk about that, brainstorming ideas and fundraising, like the financials? Like, would that be something everybody be willing to do, just that way we're not taking up regular meetings? Those are discussions we need to have and kind of figure out and come up with
Sounds
a solid plan.
It's good.
Is that something you'd be willing to attend and,
Let me know when.
yeah, okay.
Harmony may have some information.
Yeah, would you be willing to attend also? I mean, we may have information now, we can,
That's sure,
yeah.
just let me know, when you have those, but as far as your question for the community foundation, the
Yes.
fund that you have with us, since it is a non-permanent pass-through fund, it's not distributed annually.
Right.
So if you want money from that fund, it has to be requested, so you
Okay.
can all talk with Amy and I do. And a quarterly, fund statement is created. And I
Okay,
asked her to look up to see who the point of contact is for
That's
that. So it's available, we now have an online portal, so I can send you information on how to access that. But you will be able to see how much is in your fund.
yeah, so is that something you'd be willing just to print out a quarterly report too, or something on that, if we have access to
Send me
it?
the information.
Okay, perfect, yeah, I asked her who the point of contact,
Yeah.
and I can send you an email. if she
Yeah,
can
did she
email.
say, okay, I was gonna say, I don't even know who.
Yeah, she's looking it up for me, because I have all my.
Thanks, Harmony.
Yeah.
And I have a question, just because I know there's different, like classifications of funds or categories. Is that fund eligible for, like, when the opportunities arise, whether it's like matching?
Unfortunately, this one's not, because like with Lilly matching, they're continuing unrestricted funding. And so since this has a specific project and it's specifically for your organization, they won't match that. But if there's ever a matching opportunity, I'll be sure to let you guys know.
And it is accruing like the 2%, that's correct, is that my understanding, like, or no, it's not, it's just sitting there, because I think how it was presented, am I crazy, you guys remember that we were told
Interest.
it was supposed to draw?
Yeah, all of our funds draw interest.
Okay,
I can't say
Okay.
how much,
But it
because I'm
gives
not
you,
the finance
okay, but they
person.
can draw interest.
But it should be drawing.
Okay, that's all, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I could be wrong on the number, but that was fine.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
ask Amy and confirm and let you know,
Okay.
but to my understanding, it's.
Thank you.
We appreciate all your help that you've given us so
Well,
far.
and thank you guys for doing this project, because this is a huge asset to our community. And it'd be a great loss if we hadn't said yes to them starting, so. thank
I
you.
wish the county felt the same way.
Be nice with it.
And you don't have to answer me now, but do you happen to know, like, with what you've already done, how much as a whole this project would cost
We have
to finish?
I think we could probably,
I have a,
when we could get up.
Yeah, you don't have to answer me now.
We
but
could
just
get up
you have
to
to come up
15,
with
20
a-
million pretty easy.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, I mean, if I had to grab a number, I would say $5 million.
Okay.
I think it's a very reasonable number to do.
Okay.
How much have you said?
5 million. If you had a check for 5 million right now, I would say I'll do it all. And that's saying, do you know anything about the money for the 2025 on the bill that I submitted?
It just got, the
Yeah,
the
we've got,
county just got it.
there's not
Signing
something.
Yep, just
I'll
got
have
it.
a check for you Friday.
Okay,
Yep.
Anything else, guys?
oh, and something I don't know if you do, like yearly financials, I'm sure you do, but if you can, all that pipe that you have purchased can go on, all that is your pipe. If you can show something that you,
We finished the project in our lab.
well, I mean, you're gonna have to sell, yes.
Yeah.
There's a huge market for a used pipe.
It's good to know.
Yeah, I mean,
You also, but it's, you have pipe under the ground and everything, right?
well, that's mine. Well, the amount of pipe we got on the ground, that's very, I mean, we have,
Well, I know, I was just thinking for future, so it's not another 50 years before the lake gets clean.
Exactly.
No.
So it'd be nice to have a pipe
We are
there.
set up, so
Wouldn't cost as much to come back in and re-clean it and however many
okay,
years.
so, yeah, because I mean, right now, you've spent almost as much money on pipe, and not quite as much money on, than you have on dredge, but you're gonna be able to do half the lake,
Yeah.
and we're not buying more pipe.
Right,
yeah, this is an investment for the future, so
Right.
it's just an
so this doesn't happen
ongoing,
again.
like we do every winter, we go trim trees, oh, hey, we need this cleaned out, so, but that's, the goal is to get it, you know.
So how damaging is the sand, because that stuff's sitting out there and,
It's not for this pipe. This is pipe's 3/4 inch thick,
Yeah, I
so it's
saw
not. I mean, is it gonna be good in 50 years? I don't know. This is the same pipe they use for coal mines to pump water, they drag for miles, and I didn't buy the cheap, you didn't buy the cheap pipe. Because we've got more pipe, but then at the end, what are you gonna have at the end? You're gonna have a lot of used up pipe that some of the stuff we may get into may be real abrasive, I don't know, if you did a lot of sand. The pipe I'm purchasing, or that you purchased, is, when we go to the project, if we say, hey, we have $100,000 of pipe that we're gonna sell, or when this is over with, you're gonna have that. Or you say, we just got out, we're ready to begin.
In case the board didn't know, Mike is the king of Facebook Marketplace.
I can find anything you want on Marketplace. And I've driven up to 6 hours to make the pipe. And saves a little bit of money.
Yeah. So,
Good to know.
Thank you guys very much for everybody.
Thank you. for
If you have any
everything.
questions,
Thanks,
and
Mike, thanks, Curtis.
I'd like to, once we get, probably not necessarily when we get started around the boat docks, but whenever we go around the beach area, have another kind of open house time where people come out to see and ask questions. We did that once, and I was very, very happy with the questions we had. I know we had people come out that were not necessarily looking to fight, looking to argue.
oh, yeah.
And when they left, they had the questions answered, they felt better about the project or about that, which we had that on every one of our local houses. People don't understand, they think that we're hurting
The
families.
naysayers are there.
Well, that's you going above and beyond, like you're not obligated to.
But,
do
but,
that. So I
but
appreciate
the good was that
so much.
this community outreach type thing too,
Yes. like
that you're gonna get more, I mean,
Yes.
if it takes if we came out on Sunday and did that,
Yeah.
the day I was out, I was running the dredge, and people were worried about fish, and like that. There were fish actually right next to the boat. I mean, within 3 foot of the boat, and there were turtles all on the stumps and the trees that fell over within 15 foot of the boat while I'm sitting there running there on tech. So it's not,
Didn't bother me.
didn't bother at all. And that's, I didn't know, but it made me feel a lot better. The guys actually took a fishing pole out there and made a fishing thing, but
so the beach area is gonna be loaded with sand out in the water that's washed off the beach, I'm assuming.
Oh,
But I don't know about, apparently, isn't any sludge around there. Is there still concrete stuff out there where the, old pier used to be on
Yeah.
Simmons?
Yes.
and we can,
There's a lot of stuff built up against that.
and whenever we go in and we hit a stump or a log, that machine runs so smooth, as soon as you hit something, you can feel it, so you can back off a bit. The sand should be hard enough. The sand should be hard enough that we shouldn't be picking up the sand. Because the way our auger stuff set up is, it won't go down into the clay, it'll set on top of it. So I think it should set on top of that sand, and we can feel that, we can set it down, feel the sand, we can raise it up an inch if we want to go along that edge. So that I'm not worried about picking up a tremendous amount of sand at all.
Merry Christmas and hope we have a great New Year.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Ernie.
you.
Right,
Thank you.
do you want me to mail that, or do you recommend Friday pick it up?
Oh, I'm sure they can.
Okay, just around noon, yeah, tell them to around noon.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
All right, well,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for helping.
It looks like there wasn't a fund advisor listed, so you may or may not have gotten a statement yet. But after the October statement comes out, someone will have to sign up online to either opt in or opt out to get those online statements. And Valerie, our administrative, she's going to put Dewey on there since you're board president. Unless
Can we
otherwise.
put Jamie also, but she's the accountant?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Jamie's doing the numbers, that way you can just print off that report with our financials. Please and thank you.
what's under the email?
Can I have your phone number and your email?
Just the office number, or?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I
It's 812-268-5537. And my email is jfollow@sullivancounty.in.gov.
Thank you, Arlene.
If you could just send me something to tell me where I need to start.
Perfect.
Okay.
Anything else? Or move on?
Move on.
Move on. All right. Well, by the way, Lana,
Yes.
appreciate you putting that thing on the sign out there. Got a big thank you to
For the foundation.
Foundation, I think. Anyway, Greg Biggs, are you with Greg Biggs?
I don't see him here, he's not here.
That's fine.
That's harmony.
I know who Harmony is, but I didn't know this lady here, I don't know.
sorry.
No, I mean, I'm just a keeper. I'm 5 and I want to be more involved in what's going on, so no.
Great.
Thank you.
Evidently, Greg didn't show up.
Well, let's move up to the attorney update. Mark, you got anything for us?
Nothing today. I'm working with Doug to get some information. I do apologize this morning. We just got a tie rod go bad on the car. We're getting the pencils to get that worked on. I will bring that in so you can see that was what went down. We do apologize for that. The outlet wiper was in the shop and then we had a tie rod go down on the other one. So I do apologize, sir.
Well, that's okay, appreciate it. All right. Damon, you got anything for us?
Well, there are any other communications?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
Shelley, what do you got?
Nothing.
Okay, Harmony, we already,
Yeah, I'm good.
okay.
Just want to make sure.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll go with Damon. What do you got for us, Damon?
Just doing the same stuff, starting to do some tree work, we got everything shut down, antifreeze, that all went pretty decent. I'm gonna jump ahead down here on the tree up in Lakeside West, on, I think it's Walker's property. I've not had a chance to get it out of there yet. Time we got some of the stuff that we needed done in here, it's too cold to get out there in the water and cut limbs off of the tree.
Oh, they were gone.
No. Yeah.
Saturday would be a good day.
Yeah, so it's not blocking nothing, so I don't know. We
Can
can
you
either
get
wait
in
till,
contact with them?
yeah, and I've been up there a couple times and tried getting an idea how we can get it out without getting water and it's just not good enough. So, other than that, everything's going good right now.
What's your projects for the winter?
We got to get the gazebos put together in place. We still got some trees to take down. We got bathroom doors screen doors that needs redone on some of the bathrooms. And then we got to get all the equipment serviced and that type of stuff.
And you have 4 guys, and you?
Jerry Brooks. I got 5.
No, it's counting you, right?
Yeah. We don't have no part-time guys, they're all, we never kept any part-time for the back this year.
Do you need that many?
As far as full-time guys working, yeah, I mean, as far as getting trees cleaned up and.
You keep them busy?
Oh,
Okay.
So to touch base on the trees, I went to the county commissioners meeting the other day, and I brought it to their attention that we're spending money that's revenue generated out of this place to take care of the outside of this place, so I will go to the commissioner, the county council meeting, and also make them aware of it, but what I would like to see happen is what I told them. We need a line item added on our budget where the county needs to take their garage people out there and take care of their property, one or the other. Because we're burning our money up for stuff that we need to do to take care of trees, that have nothing to do with us.
And the way I feel, if it's not in the main part of the lake affecting boat traffic or landing on somebody's dock, if it goes, it's fish habitat. Like the one that these people keep on wanting cleaned up, there's a lot of people on that left because they're catching good fish around it.
Right.
It's an eyesore for the owner, but again, it's also, it helps our fishermen that pays the user on.
Yeah.
So
So who makes that decision?
that would be you guys.
Mark, can you hear everything that's going on here?
And I think if they're,
Okay.
you know, they did use the lake, you know, have their dock, they pay a one-time fee. So if they want it cleaned up, why cannot be kind of their responsibility to do it personally?
Is it in, this tree interfere with their boat? Do they have a boat?
They have a boat dock, but no, it's not interfering with their boat dock.
Well, I don't understand why they're so upset about it.
I don't-
Because with that tree moved.
Because they
No
want-
expense to the home.
Yeah.
Yeah, now the ones that we had taken out, it was blocking the whole coast.
That's,
So they had to come out. This one here's not really blocking anything.
He's probably the policy on it. Like a good
Well,
policy
It's down here on the.
that they can sign when they get their boat dock or when they, whatever.
We'll excuse you.
Thanks.
Thanks, be careful, drive safe.
See you, Bruce.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we need to make a decision on that, on the tree that they want removed, but it's not hurting anything, so.
We're not gonna do it till spring anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, it'll have to be warmer so somebody can get in the water.
So we'll just reassess in spring.
Maybe we.
Is the tree healthy? Is there anything wrong with it? I didn't catch if there was anything that was problematic. I mean, is it creating any risk of falling?
It's already in the water.
It's already in the water.
Okay, I missed that part of it, so it's already fallen over.
Yeah. Fish are already habitating.
Well, then we've got two possible issues, because on the one hand, you don't want to disrupt the habitat if you don't have to. But on the other hand, is there any risk to any damage of their property since it's already fallen over? I know they've got the boat dock in there. Is there any risk for any of the debris or anything doing any damage to anything of theirs?
Nope.
Okay. Well, if it hasn't got any risk of falling over, that usually is the key concern. If it was gonna fall over and do some damage. If it's just in the way, that's part of living on a lake. How obstructive is it to the dock? I mean, can they still get in or get out?
Yes, they can get in and get out.
I'll look into it. I think that it'd be on them in terms of removing the tree. If it were something that was posing a risk, then possibly, yeah, we have to do due diligence to take it down, but I'll look into what the rules are on that.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
moving on.
All right.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. We did kind of skip over the treasurer's report.
I wrote you guys up a pretty good report.
Yeah, it's pretty
if you just wanna
good.
read it, so,
Yeah.
I don't know. that I-
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, I don't know that I really have a lot, other than what I wrote.
So,
Well, if we're on treasurer's report, did you figure out the tax stuff back in October? Are you still working with the state?
No, I got a hold of the Department of Revenue. So the gate entry fee is considered a ticket,
Okay,
so we don't charge on that.
okay.
She didn't say anything about usage fees and all that, so
Okay.
I'm assuming the passes are fine. And then obviously anything we sell, and then of course we pay sales tax when we run a hotel room, so we don't charge tax on anything long-term anyway, so. But she told me, call the corporate office that we don't deal with sales tax, so she gave me whatever information she could give me. It seems like there's a lot of people that really don't know a lot.
Do we need to like consult a CPA or do you think we?
I mean, I talked to the Department of Revenue,
And
that's who we pay our taxes
You feel
to.
comfortable
Yeah.
like with everything figured out? Okay, that's, I just didn't want to leave you like in a still bad position trying to figure that out. Okay, yes.
so this 24-25 income, that does not count any grants, correct?
It does, well, no, it won't count, like the DNR grants, no. Now, it will count the grants that come from like the Wabash Valley Community Foundation, because we do put those in as income. So it does count that, I think, I have put that in, yes. And that was like $34,000 altogether. But, I mean, I think we still did pretty good.
What can we do to do better? Not just pretty good. How can we make more money?
You feel,
I don't know,
you
you
feel the
can't
credit
really-
card deals working out okay now? We're
Yeah,
not cheating.
yeah, we're doing fine on the credit card, yeah, and if you look, we, even with like the camp spot, we actually got like a refund from them. There should be 2 camp spot bills in there. And then, so we're not even paying them anything at this point, for our reservations, we didn't have any marketplace reservations recently, that's why. I mean, I don't really know you, I don't know that you can really raise the prices much more than you have, so. The only thing you could raise would be seasonal camping, I know you guys don't wanna do that.
Why did we convert seasonal camping? Would we make money off of like reservation fees and stuff that way? I'm just curious on like camp spots. It looks like on camp spot, we're making quite a bit off of reservations. I don't know if that's just frequency or.
So we did change how we do in our reservation fees though now, it
Okay.
doesn't do like a percentage anymore, we just charge a certain amount.
Yeah.
We just charge $5, so,
Mhm.
I mean, I would love it if everything was in one system, just because it's a pain to have to, but, I think that we had some issues with trying to put some of the stuff in there.
I think it was the point of sale stuff, right? Like all the.
The passes,
Passes
it was the
and
one to
rides.
store information in point of sale stuff.
Could I make a comment from the camping side of the world?
Yes.
I'm in E, and I represent probably 10 to 12 campers in E. We have a lot of family, and so I asked for suggestions about this, knowing that the camping fees are gonna go up, and our campers are all here now. And one of the comments from one of them is, and I know the refunding, and maybe that's part of Camp Spot, is a pain in the butt, but I'm wondering, what if people were willing to pay from March till October, the whole camping season, up front, and put in there a disclaimer or something, if you have to pull out, we would not refund you. But they sign that before they pay, so you wouldn't have a refund, and maybe as a perk for the next year, because you know they're gonna stay the next year, these people. the next year, maybe they get March free. March is your slow time anyway, or October's a little bit slower. I don't know, things like that campers, because I know, speaking for myself, and at least 9 or 10 campsites over there, in E, we would be willing to do that. You know, you pay for we could never pay, because many times I want to pay, and I understand the whole refund thing. I've been in business my whole life, and so I understand what a pain it is, but maybe if they had one system, or maybe CampSpot doesn't refund, I don't know, but, I don't know, but you'd have all your money in that fiscal year too. I mean, you'd have all your money up front, and people would be willing to pay, and if they pull out, so they signed it, you're not gonna get a refund.
I think we're gonna do that anyway, I mean, because we do have a couple campers that even though we tell them that we're gonna put all the charges in right now, because, so doing the whole, putting it in as a deposit thing, we will do that in April. Just because we can't check them in, sometimes they'll come pay April's rent and they do it in March, and we can't check them in until April 1st in Campground Master.
Okay.
So, we do a deposit on that, but I've asked them to stop doing, because it does funny things with the reports, and it's just
And that's
easier.
Campground Master. though.
Campground Master, yes.
So-
And so, we have, I mean, a couple handfuls of campers that come and pay for the whole season up front.
Yeah,
And I put the charges in, and they know if you pay for the whole season, if you leave,
So
we
they
can't
have
do a
that.
refund. It's Campground Master that I 100%, it's just, I can't do a refund on it.
yeah.
It does.
Like camps, yeah.
CampSpot, you can do refunds, and I think our policy with the no refunds has more to do with the fact that most people who pay rent pay with a check, and I can't refund you a check.
Mhm.
The only way I could do a refund is on a credit card. I don't have cash in the office to refund you cash. If you just came up, paid rent, or bought something with cash, I don't have cash up here to refund it, and I can't refund you a check. So, and I'd say probably 80% of our campers pay their rent with check.
We had no refund policy for several years, haven't we?
I love the idea of like incentivizing people to pay up front and giving them a discount in March or whatever, and then like you said, if they're willing to sign a policy, but they pull out, like, that's
So
on
be
them,
it,
so
you
be
know.
it, yeah.
Unless they die or something, maybe,
Right.
you know, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, that's a good thought.
And what about, and is there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is there a policy that you can't have 2 camping sites? If you're willing to buy 2 campers and have a campsite full-time in the winter and live there full-time, right? Isn't Lover's Lane area full-time, and have a campsite on E? What would be the problem with that? Or a person having their name
Like
on 2
in the winter time,
campsites?
you can have your camper over here and still keep this one.
You can?
Yes. Now in the
Okay.
summer, the reason why you can't have 2 campsites, it goes underneath that, sublease, because you're not able to stay in 2 campers
Okay.
yourself. So that kind of falls underneath the subleasing thing in our rules, because you're letting whoever stay in this other one, and it's actually in your name, so.
So that's there's
Yeah.
basically the law type.
We
Yeah.
did some campers.
I don't think it
has
has
the
parking.
Do what?
Are
You
they
can have 2 spots.
Yeah, but they use it for like parking.
Okay. And I know some people do that, so I'm glad you explained that, thank you. Okay, because I know that we've had, people that we wanted to lease a second spot for, who would have their
Right.
camper in, and have it in our name, but I knew
No.
you couldn't do that, so I understand that, I thank you for explaining that.
And like Dewey just brought up, we've got, several people that has 2 sites, but they like put their cargo trailer on it, and they park their cars there,
Okay,
and then they keep their camper on the other one.
okay,
So,
and as long as we do that, it's not technically
Yeah.
2 campers, we can do that,
yes, ma'am.
okay. All right.
I got a problem with putting the vans.
Huh?
So I have a problem with putting the vans. If you put in the vans together, then the going here March free, the March, you use all the income for March. And so,
Yeah, that's what we didn't vote on, and we're just saying,
Yeah.
providing incentive, because not everybody's going to do that or has the
Right.
ability of doing
Yeah, it's
that.
more of an incentive type,
Yeah.
for being able to pay for the year, even if people wanted to do that, I didn't know you allowed that, and then because
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know that you allowed that, and then they still wouldn't get a refund.
Yeah.
So that's a way to capture more
Yeah.
money too, okay.
One of the things, well, I mean, it's still getting the same amount of money, it's just getting it early. Really, because they're still paying the same.
Right,
A couple of things that I know that, I get these notifications on CampSpot for like, you know, they have that, what do they call it, like, diverse pricing.
Yeah,
So if it's during a holiday, you can have it set up to where, you know, kind of like when you go to Indianapolis and the hotel room is usually $120, but Indy 500 is going on and it's not anymore. They have that for like the cabins and things like that. They have, kind of like flash sales if there's a weekend, that we're not, like, it seems like events we're filling up. Like we don't really have any dead spots for our events. But there are other weekends that we're not always full, every weekend. If there's a weekend that we're noticing that we're not full, one of the marketing things they suggest with CampSpot is to advertise, you know, this weekend, these days for this much money, or, you know, 20% off for this weekend if you book for the whole weekend. Or they do kind of like to get people to want to, you know, oh, 20% off for the weekend, I'm gonna go, you know.
and I think
And it's better than not making any for the weekend.
and on our end, I don't think we have to do anything. My understanding of that seminar I sat through is like, you click like, okay, and it'll email it to people who have booked a CampSpot before
Yeah.
to their emails, and so they can just book directly. And like you said, it's still revenue that, it's better than it sitting empty. And that's done free for just having CampSpot.
Because I think they do one of those like in June or something
Yeah.
like that.
I love the
Something that
idea
they do.
what
of the
about
flex
some of the
rates during
ones
the week.
that are just monthly sites, that if they're not filled up for that month?
If
Do you do that? And I say that because we've had family
Yeah.
that, well, if I could get in E, I'm using E as an example, in the middle spots
yeah,
for a weekend, I would come down and book it for a
Yeah,
weekend.
we'll let them.
yeah,
You will?
yeah. If there's nobody in it and nobody, if it's an open site,
Because there's a lot of those ones, except for the holidays in E, that are in the middle, that are open.
And some of those,
we opened up for,
Open, yeah.
we did E, right? D and E?
Did
A,
you?
Should be A,
Indeed.
and E.
A,
So
D, and
E is
E.
due in the.
In the middle, they're daily, weekly, they're not seasonal anymore.
Okay, okay.
From
Well, I
the
thought they were
CampSpot.
told they couldn't unless
Yes.
they booked a month at a time, is what I thought.
Yeah,
I
because
was
they
told.
were, we just opened them up
Yeah.
this year.
Oh,
We just did
they
that.
were-
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we just did that. this
And
year.
those are all CampSpot, so they can get.
Yeah, they gotta go through CampSpot to book this.
Okay, okay.
Well, you don't have to go through CampSpot, they can just go to our website and hit book
That's
now.
what I meant.
Well, that's
Yes.
what that's
They're
what
online.
they did, but it was monthly and they only went a couple weeks, so they
Yeah,
couldn't
those are-
spend.
Yeah,
But
those
now they're
are,
opened up this year?
yeah, this year we opened them up for daily, weekly.
Okay.
So that, like Jamie said, go to the website and you can book those online.
'Cause we were saying that as a way to get more money.
And
Yeah,
actually,
because
January 3rd, should be January 2nd at midnight. You should be able to book for 2026
Okay, well,
online.
that was my next
Yeah.
question.
Now, if they call up here, I mean, if they're local and they can come in, we take whoever walks in first on January 2nd.
Okay.
Then we take phone calls, and then at midnight, it opens up, like January 3rd, when 12:01, it opens up for online. So if
Okay,
there's something specific they're wanting, I would suggest somebody coming in, but
okay. All right.
Okay, moving on.
that's okay.
Kay Brewer, was invited to come to the board meeting back in October. You know, she's with the, Brown Baggers. She said that, they would have their insurance and all that stuff, so she was invited to the board meeting to, show proof of license, gaming license, insurance, but she declined to come, she said she didn't have that yet. Landon, what is it? She said she wouldn't get that until come time to actually.
It's only good for so long, so many months, I believe, so they wait till closer to when they're gonna use it to get the license.
That's the reason she's not here today, so.
But we're still on board to have them run like the poker runs and stuff this summer, as long as
Yeah.
that.
It's just money for us.
Okay, that's, I just want to make sure, because I thought it was a great idea if they have everything in place.
I think it's a great idea too, but we do need proof of insurance,
Okay.
probably,
The game.
some kind of a, gaming license and some kind of agreement, signed agreement between her and the park board.
I don't have a contact number for her.
I have her cell phone number.
Yeah.
Okay. Damon, I just wanted to tell you, thank you for the Christmas decorations that you and the park employees put up. I thought it looked nice.
I guess maybe we should have had some Christmas in the park, since you have it all decorated. We could,
I would like to do that for next year.
Even if it's just one weekend.
Yeah,
Do
just
like
a
down around the
Santa
beach,
Claus or
driving
something.
through. The reason why this took place with the Christmas decorations, we never do Christmas.
I know.
But we had decorations for Halloween outside. So we've got a lot of feedback from people in Walmart or people coming to the hospital that Stephanie knows about all the direct decorations and stuff. So it was just good publicity. Everybody's talking about it. So we bought decorations. The lake paid for some of them. We had some that we never put up at the house because you can't see it back there. So we put some of our stuff out and the lakes put stuff out. So
Well, I think we
that's kind of
should,
the backstory of why that is. But next year I'd like to do a drive-through, do donation boxes down around the beach and maybe have some.
And I will help you with whatever you need help with. That's like my Christmas dreams, is having like the Christmas in the park.
There's a lot of people over the years have asked why we don't do it anymore, but
Well,
we
we
should
used to, I
decorate
used to come.
everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that elaborate.
Even we used to have
So,
businesses just sponsor.
Well,
Well,
I was gonna say, even if you just did like a weekend, like a 3-day.
We just
thing,
kinda
have
wanted to
businesses
try it.
come Set something up.
Try a little bit of decorations, get some feedback this year.
Yeah.
Sheila's been on me for several years about Christmas.
And it didn't work.
It didn't
I know,
work.
I've
Literally,
asked her.
It's fine.
I've asked every year, I've been on the board and you just.
I think Bill Myers and I got together in the summer and got shut down.
You guys are supposed to do this,
Mhm.
but that's kind of a backstory of why we've had a lot of
It looks nice.
questioning about it, and that's
well, I think it's,
a lot of feedback now.
it's a waste for not having people come visit, so I think we should probably.
That's kind of why I put like most of the blow-ups out where you can see it from the field
Yeah.
and down here. So,
Okay,
That's a great idea. Thank you for doing that.
The bad part comes in January when you gotta take that crap down.
yeah,
All right, policy tree removal, we've already discussed that and dredging updates, we got that done. Update on gazebos, you kind of covered that one a while ago.
yeah. I got that one gazebo taken back and got the picnic tables ordered. The tables that you have on that email I got from Jamie wasn't available, so we had to get a different table. They were a little bit more expensive, so that kind of used up the money for the benches.
Okay.
But we did get the tables. They're assembled back here, sitting in the shop and that kind of stuff.
I got to thinking about, I was wanting to see some benches go out at the handicap pier. But we could probably make them out of 2x6s or 2x8s or something, treated lumber, if you wanted to, just something. It's kind of hard for somebody to carry, you know,
Yeah.
they've got a bad leg or whatever, they gotta carry a fishing pole, tackle box, lawn care,
Right.
all that stuff out there.
Now, what I would like, we talked about last meeting, where the gazebos needs to go. I'd like to have 100% definite answer of where we want them at.
No.
We kind of talked about taking this thing out, we talked about putting one there, talked about putting one back in G and one on Shell Road, but there's also mention of putting one down at the beach. So before we start building these, I'd like to know, because they have to be built wherever they're being set up
So
at.
how many do we have?
We got 3.
3.
You know, we applied a grant for 6,
Right.
but they cut us in half.
Like the little shack out here, could we just kind of paint it up and maybe re-roof it and kind of make it presentable and then put one of these at the beach, one in G and one on Shell Road.
There you go.
Instead of
Shell
taking
Road.
this down,
Shell Road looks amazing.
it does.
I'm fine with that, I think that sounds good.
All right.
All right.
When
thank you,
when you
Dana.
say G, are you talking about the playground? Okay, that's what I thought, okay,
And then on top of it, it'll get a solar light to light up the playground with.
that's a great idea. Sounds good.
So you're good with,
Yeah, as long as you guys are good with it,
Do we need a motion for that? Or are we just good?
I think we're just good. I just-
All right, new business. Election of officers for 2026.
I make a motion, we just keep it as is.
Second.
All in favor? Okay,
That was the shortest election we've ever had.
And then we'll revisit it next year. Like we always do.
What about in 2026, the starting time and the date we're doing our, you want to stay at that? Second Tuesday of each month at 8:30 or?
Yeah,
well, we tried the evening thing and nobody showed up,
yeah,
so I
we
say
just,
stay
we tried it, so,
Yep.
let's just stay with what we got.
Okay,
and
If
then
it
I,
works for you guys.
that's fine with us, I would like to, like, at the January meeting, look at like the school calendar and holidays, though, and set, cause like, I know, like, on Veterans Day, obviously, we didn't have one in November, which was fine, but I just thought like, maybe we offset them if we have to on, like, fall break, spring break, things like that. So January 20, at the January meeting, I would like to have on the agenda to look at the calendar to finalize meeting dates. But
okay.
outside of that, second Tuesday at 8:30 is fine.
Okay, lake passes for next year. I don't think ever since I've been on the board, we've been getting lake passes and giving to our elected officials, the mayor, county council, that type of thing. You guys want to continue that through 2026?
Yes, and Mike Fry and his crew, I think that was requested.
Mike Fryman, you said?
Yeah, Mike Fry and his, how many would we need for the dredging crew?
I don't remember the exact amount, I think it was like 6 or 7.
Total passes?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I always take passes to the city garage and give to the employees down there because they, when we need a sewer line or whatever to come out and they help us.
okay.
So I'd like to be able to do that this year.
So I make a motion for passes for all appropriate people that we want to give passes to. So city officials, county officials, the garage, Mike Fry and his crew.
If, we're probably looking, I don't know, 20 passes, but,
20 to 30.
you know, good PR between us, county officials.
Yeah, that always works so well.
We need somebody to second that motion.
We try, it just don't work.
Wait a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Can I request?
No, you can't.
Either that month of April or May, that the board host,
Do what now?
that the board host another, county or community leadership event like we did. Do an invite, have them come out, show and tell.
Yeah, maybe Mike could attend and answer questions too.
Yeah, because we had a decent turnout,
We did have a
We
decent
did.
turnout on it. The ones
And
that
it was
wanted to
raining.
came.
and it was raining that day, so it kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good
that's
idea.
a good idea. So add that to the January agenda also, please, to plan a spring,
We have a
carry,
lunch.
yeah, spring lunch for the every county officials and have, invite Mike also. We can figure out what date we want to do that. Thanks, Chris, good idea.
All right. Moving on there, stump grinding. You guys got a stump grinding plan for this winter?
Yeah, we'll get some of them taken.
I know she got like 3 of them over around, pretty close to where I camp, already taken out.
Yeah.
And kind of reminds me of the post that held the electrical box and the water lines
Mhm.
at my camp, or water off below the ground. It's,
We do have several of those that probably need to be addressed.
The post thing, yeah.
And the ones that say Camp 21, 22, those maybe need to
Updated.
updated.
We talked about that, I think a year or two ago, I think we priced it. So I
Yeah, we
think-
talked about them reflective
Yeah,
posts and, they were way expensive.
so can we just start phasing
We need
those
to-
in though, maybe, like the wood
It'd be cheaper
fittings
just to reroute, and go through my four stores and reroute.
That's all right with
Yeah.
or
me.
whatever?
The bad thing about the electrical posts, putting those in, is the way everything is ringing with the electrical wires coming up and because nothing was separated. The water line is in with the electrical line.
Are you serious?
Yeah, to replace some posts, we're taking the chance of cutting water lines, cutting electrical lines and all that.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Because some of the boxes, anywhere from the lowest 4 wires up to 12 wires running into them, depending on what all they feed.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I've not went through and started replacing some of those is for the fear factor.
There's a bunch of them in there, Judy. There's 2 different scheduled claims and transfers, just.
Okay.
And several pages.
But yeah, I plan on getting some stump grinding done. There's several back on Shell Road I want to get removed out of there and where we have the fireworks and everything.
That area at the end of Shell Road is such a beautiful area. I know we talked about camping back there, and we didn't want to do it, but
I think it'd be neat for like group camps, that type of thing, just a weekend, family wants to come after and set tents and,
This is just a way.
it looks really good back. It's probably one of the prettiest
And
areas.
it's
Very
my,
pretty.
and my only pushback is still on that, is we don't have a lot for people that aren't campers, just to come and spend the day and time. I really like to keep an area that the community can come and enjoy the lake to. So, we have,
If that was formalized in a way and actually put on the website as such, that would be a revenue generator for
to make it group
weddings.
camping. Oh,
Weddings.
weddings, see, that's what I think so too, I think it's a beautiful place.
A backdrop right there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful up there. And they've done such good work with the trees and everything. It looks really
A
good.
photography spot.
See, I always thought weddings on like the dam room, where if you could clean that up with the grass too, because like it's beautiful, especially at sunset. Like, you know, there's a lot of revenue you could make from house.
The dam, you have to do some infrastructure because you
You
have
would.
parking.
Correct, but yeah, back there though, you
We
would.
need to think about that, utilizing that area a little more than.
Just like how to make more money, right?
And that's another thing, you asked what some of our plans was, we got to cut all that brush and stuff off the dam and that's gonna be a big project. too.
Which,
That's
will you
needed.
please weed our neighbors, please?
Yeah. That was, brought up to me, and then I've been taken off, and I forgot to tell you guys about it, because I have a bunch of time I gotta use before the end of the year. Actually, I got prisoners this week,
Happy
so.
That'd be great, thank you.
It
Try
will
to
be
keep them
taken care
happy.
of.
So do you have a stump grinder or do we hire that then?
We have one that mounts on the back of a tractor.
It's not a big one, but.
Yeah, but it does the job. It breaks your neck,
No, it's
washing it, but it works.
Making that group camping though too, it's not like that would be all the time. So like,
Yeah.
I think that is a possibility, I just don't wanna see it get trashed because it's such a pretty area.
All right, moving on, selling off surplus equipment. We talked about that, I think in the October meeting or maybe.
I mean, you talked about it back in the parking lot one day. Back in October, me, you and Wyatt.
It was, you're right, absolutely right.
But
It would look nice if we get rid of some of that that we're not using, it's not going to be used, just to kind of clean up back there.
you got the fishing boat, the dump truck, and then we got that case tractor. Is 3 things that can go.
Say it again, fishing boat,
The
Dump
dump
truck.
truck,
Case track.
remember we replaced the dump truck with a dump trailer.
Yeah, and then, what was it,
So
The
is the
dumpsters
dump-
up, dump them in the back of the truck, they hit that building,
Yeah, and,
big dents in it.
I can't, Travis is gonna take care of that, as far as paying and have that fixed.
Okay,
I make a motion to allow you to list and sell any surplus equipment.
So can you not use the dump truck at all? Is it completely
Yes,
dead?
it's just,
Okay. I second the motion.
all in favor? All right, good deal. You're gonna, advertise that stuff in the, paper or?
yeah, it has to legally, from State Board of Accounts, it has to be, advertised in the paper.
But if you want to sell it, you need to probably do it on
I was thinking you do it
social
on
media.
Marketplace then too.
I don't know, because it has to be sealed bids.
Oh, it does, even to sell equipment?
Do we just?
Everything has to be sealed bids, so we can advertise it, Sullivan paper, Terre Haute paper, we can do a thing on our Facebook page that we have surplus
I was gonna say,
equipment, accepting sealed bids.
More people see that than make the paper.
And you're just gonna accept bid, correct?
Yes, that's,
Okay.
that's the only way we can do it legally.
Is there any way you can put a, minimum on there? I would look into that.
I'll call
$10.
I know Nick Carlson does a lot up there, I'll talk to him and see if there's a, minimum that we put on there.
Mark, can you answer that question
Which-
for us? When we sell surplus equipment, is there, can we,
There's-
request a minimum amount on it?
There's nothing that says we have to accept a bid.
I believe so. When you're auctioning it off, you can set a reserve amount to get the value out of it. I will double check. I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so you know somebody offers $100 on there, we don't have to accept the bid.
The next one will be good.
Okay, I don't have anything else. Oh, no,
What do you do?
Suggestions on.
That was one. That's what I was looking forward to.
My suggestions?
No, yeah, on how to shorten it.
Well, I asked a couple of months ago about, because I've been asked by board members, can we wait to shorten it? And we do have long meetings, 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours. The only thing I know to do is, start enforcing it. We got a 3-minute rule on speak, you know, if you want to talk. Maybe start enforcing that. I think 3 minutes is probably not enough time. We change our policy, say 5 minutes, and
Well,
start keeping a clock on it.
It's not just people out there though that are.
no, I think a lot of our problem is,
It's us.
with us, well, and I think too, like the county council, I know, because they reference this in their meetings, they are in constant communication via email or text, so like most of their discussion that they've already had is happening in their government email, and then they can just vote, like, we're not very good on having communication outside of here, so there is a lot of discussion on things because we haven't.
But didn't it used to be that you couldn't
But,
discuss it?
well, you can't vote on it. But I think you can have
Yeah,
discussion.
you can't reach a decision. You have to take a formal public vote.
Yeah.
And another thing to be cautious of is any emails you send that involve government business,
Correct.
they can subpoena, and we do have a couple of guys that are to varying degrees watchdogs, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Some of them have, been very aggressive, even with the Shelbytown board. We've got one gentleman who comes and films everything, and
Yeah.
they will subpoena your emails. You want to be very cautious. The question becomes whether it's an electronic form. A listserv, communication is, something that you want to tread very lightly with. You can have some discussion of it. Personnel matters can go behind closed doors, but you don't want to make it something where you take a vote or pull. You can talk among yourselves, two people or 3 people, as long as it doesn't constitute quorum, and say, how are you leaning on this? But you can't have all 7 on there saying, okay, let's take a straw poll and see who's gonna vote which way.
Right.
Because that can get us into trouble, because that basically, in the era of electronic meetings and Zoom and everything else, you're kind of getting into the era of, did they meet and just say, okay, we're not meeting, nudge, wink, wink, when really they are. And I think you've got at least a couple of people locally, who do film the meetings and would raise a fuss about that. And sometimes meetings by their nature are a little longer. It is something where people want to foreshorten it, I know, but you don't want to go so far in the direction you're deciding everything before you get there. Because you walk in, have no discussion, and vote, and then they continue your voting, that's problematic, and it can get us into trouble for violations of the open records law.
Now, we've only got 5 board members, so it only takes 3 to make a quorum, but if I was to call one or the other and we would have a conversation, and then that person was to call one of the others and have a conversation, that wouldn't be having 3 people all meet together at one time.
No, you can discuss what your qualms are about it. And you can say, I'm, asking questions about this. It's something where the sharing of information between 1 or 2 board members, as long as you don't have a quorum, I think you're not in any trouble on it.
Yeah.
Nobody can realistically restrict. If you're doing business and you're a government official, you can certainly sit there and talk, to another board member, but I think you want to watch out having a quorum on anything and doing the equivalent of taking a voice vote and saying, okay, who's with me and who's against me?
Right.
Because they can't subpoena that. And, the question is how deep they're willing to go. And some of these guys are willing to go pretty deep. We've had guys that subpoenaed records and everything else, and the cost on that gets prohibitive. But, as far as just talking to one of the other board members, if you're standing out, for example, looking at a road in the park and saying that needs to be widened, it's not, and I'm just using this as an example, I don't know of any road that needs widened or anything like that. And everyone goes, yeah, I think it does. I don't think we've got enough space for the trucks and the campers and RVs to get through. That's not holding a quorum. When all 3 of you are, okay, we're standing there and we're gonna, for a quorum, say, yeah, let's widen this road, yeah, I'm agreeing with it, yeah, I'm also agreeing with it. If you've got a record of that, which an email provides, then they can say you were holding a meeting outside the confines of the public announcement, which is concerning to them, because with COVID especially, and with all the electronic meetings that went on, it's a lot easier to track that stuff. It's a lot more likely somebody's going to subpoena, so you don't want to make any kind of decision. You can talk among 1 or 2 of you, and make decisions that way to a certain extent, saying, okay, I've got the information, this is how I'm leaning, but you don't want to poll everybody on the board or have enough to have a quorum. You can, I think anybody in any state house or any local government probably has gone to the other members to get an idea how they're going to vote individually, but you can't have the equivalent of a meeting, and it's pretty easy for them to determine if you've got all the members on a listserv or an email or private messaging that you're holding the meeting without having the public there. So you want to be really careful about that unless it's something protected like personnel matters or something like that.
Okay.
And even then you still want to follow the letter of the law that announce that they're going to hold an actual meeting.
All right.
All right.
I know that can be a pain in the neck.
We've been
We're
pretty good
almost
so-
done.
So that's the other thing too, is I noticed when I go to the commissioners or county council, they are so much quicker just to table things and move on.
Yeah.
And then, we'll maybe discuss them next month, but again, they have got some of that communication on decisions for communication between, but they are much quicker about just moving on. So those are just my observations based on which meetings that are much shorter than ours.
A lot of our things though have to be, like today, I enjoyed every minute of that, so
So I think some of it just is the nature of our situation too.
we'll just have to work on it.
Those are my observations, is they are in much better communication in general, not making decisions, but communication. And they are much quicker to table things and just move on, and they don't keep bringing things back up. That's
And
just
we're
my
probably one of
observation.
the only boards that doesn't hold an executive session prior to the meeting.
Correct.
So they take care of hash all that out, and then they just blow down to the agenda and it's
Yes.
done and it's over because they've already had this discussion.
Do you want to start having, I don't want to do it any
How we
earlier.
can do it, we started at 8:30. And I don't want to get into, so I went to a school board meeting here recently. You were there. I don't wanna get into where we're cutting people on a timer, we're cutting people off.
I
The
was
school
set
board
by-
did
I
some
was set by state
X
law.
amount of time, and they actually have a timer out, they tell you halfway. And They're
That's
cutting
why-
our union steward off, they're cutting everybody off. I just think that's rude.
I think that's rude.
Not good, that's bad business, it's
Well,
terrible.
it's,
These people are
there's
taxpayers.
a franchise like they're not being listened to too. And I mean, so far from what I've seen, and admittedly my experience with limited, these are pretty short comparatively. I've been to meetings where they held on a Saturday morning and they started dating went past noon at the end of Rockport when I was a reporter. So I mean, it can go long sometimes that, you know, there are government meetings that by far, you know, Vigo City Council can go till midnight some nights. Or the Vigo County Council, I misspoke, but yeah, I think, you know, you kind of want to have a friendly balance between not having people cut off abruptly, but, you know, also not letting them go on a 20-minute tirade where they're getting nowhere.
I think Dewey's pretty good at, we've heard all of it, so let's move on,
Yeah.
so. All these are things we can think about, so.
Yeah. One thing would be repeat. I know there's a lot of stuff said, I'll use myself as an example. I say this, and then a few minutes later I repeat it. We do a lot of that here. If we didn't do there's no need for it. You know, if we didn't do the repeats, we could save a little time there. But I've been asked for the board.
I know.
So I'm addressing it.
I don't know that, I mean,
I'd stay all day long. I don't care.
yeah, I don't know
I'm
that
midnight.
it's that, I
Nice.
think we're just in a unique situation.
I'm always interested in everything everybody has to say. I don't want anybody to come to our meeting and say, well, they didn't let me talk, or they didn't let me give my opinion. Who is this Greg Biggs? Biggs?
They wanna buy property.
He lives up there, he wants to buy, I've mentioned it before in meetings, and I felt like I told him that he needs to go to the county commissioners and the county councilman. I don't know how you want to come to this.
So we don't even need to think about this.
Cause I don't know how that would look for us legally either,
It's
right?
not our property, we can't tell him yes or no, we have to go to the county council.
That's
county commissioners.
what, I had Jamie, when you sent that email, to look into it, that way so we have some answers.
I told him that.
And that's what it amounts to is,
Well, is it less? Is it a dam? They want to build a house in the dam?
no, this is, across from where Rick Killian lives, on that
Oh, yeah.
road going towards, Boone's.
Right.
It's right there on the right hand side.
Okay, that'd be down there where,
But ultimately, we don't have to say.
South of that, before you cross the other bridge right there going towards Boone's, he's on the right hand side.
It's just trees.
Well, evidently
But we don't have a say in it, is what the Buzzy's point is, 'cause it's county property.
yeah.
Okay, we have-
I'm against selling anything. We told, can't remember that boy's name now, it was here, on my property.
Mike Littrell.
Like, they don't know to us.
You know, Mike Little wanted to build a house on the dam. I checked into that after the meeting.
It wasn't all the dam, but
It was in that swamp
it
area.
was the swamp area north of it, it was not on the dam. But,
But-
ultimately, though, we don't have a say, it is up to the county can say, yep, you're selling that piece of property. But,
Hopefully not.
open.
Anyway, anybody got anything else?
Not to circle back, but a couple things. So this policy to remove adjoining trees and stuff, I would like to talk to the county a little bit more about that before we,
I make a motion, we do that.
I'll second.
I would like, you know, maybe you talk to the county garage or something like that also, but I think we need to tackle that as the county, make them more responsible than we are. Okay. And then on the subleasing deal, not
On the what?
the subleasing deal, she had mentioned something about owning two campers, but if you own two campers and you're paying the rent on two different spots, if you're not charging someone, that would not be under the sublease, correct?
But how do we know they're not charging? They're going on.
How do you know it's my daughter and not somebody renting off of me?
Yeah. And then say you're doing that and whoever, say they're in A5 and they're causing issues, that's coming back on you because that lot's on your name.
I get that.
We
Which
have
I think is
that
responsibility.
issue, and I think maybe there's a little issue with that going on now, so that might need to be addressed.
Okay. I just,
I'll get with you.
Wanted clarification.
Oh, yes, yes.
I agree with you, I don't know.
One thing I did forget, Brooke Pitts that lives in the red house, she's wanting to know if she could, do something with the extend the closet out in the house. So that she has families that are contractors, I told them that'd be something I'd bring up to you guys.
Is she paying for it?
Yes. Yeah, and as long as they're insured and all that, is there?
She has
issue
been
with
an
it?
excellent
She has
renter,
been.
I was
so
gonna
I,
finally leave that up to you.
Okay.
yeah,
Your
the
discretion.
girl that rents the little
As
red
long as
house.
they're insured.
Yeah.
You're good with it? I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
All
She has been phenomenal to be, have her as a renter,
She
so
is.
keep her happy if we can.
Yeah, I'll leave that to your
As long as it's
discretion.
done to code and meets everything and they're not moving load bearing walls and all that.
I think it's just widening the doors or something. 'cause the
Well,
doors are
you
real
check it
small,
out.
but keep
You're
going.
gonna monitor that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have one question from the camper standpoint. Is it okay if campers still come to this?
absolutely. We invite them all
And
to share.
share with
Absolutely.
the other
Yes.
campers and
They
know.
fussed at us because we didn't have it in the evening because people work, so we made a special deal to have it in the evening and not one camper showed up, not one.
It's also
Other
live
than-
on YouTube.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, we're live.
Is that what you did over there? Okay, I didn't know that.
And feel free to stop any of us, any of the maintenance guys, and
Okay,
tell us your complaints and
yeah.
what you think needs to be done.
And we've done that. I mean, we don't have any issues. I just wondered, I just like to hear what's going on and.
We're glad to have you.
So I.
And that way, you go back and tell exactly what happened.
Exactly, because the dredging was put on hold for a while and out there, a lot of the campers, why is it not working? Well, there was a specific reason, good reason that the board, and so I shared that, oh, that makes sense, you know, and I've done that. in my
Usually
past
there is
job.
a reason.
Exactly, but people don't always know it. I think you do a good job on the newsletter too.
I make a motion to adjourn. Merry
All in
Christmas.
favor? Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Merry Christmas.
All right.